Welcome back, YouTube. I'm going over some of the charts here, and I wanted to make a video. 'Cause I know some of the prices have been declining overall in the market. It's been pretty bloody, and I wanted to just remind people that September is usually this way. We have witching this month, and typically September is a bloody month. So typically, if you're trying to get into any if you're a long-term investor, if you're trying to get any positions and stuff like that, typically if you wait around this time, you're able to get some deals. A lot of the options and stuff like that are going to turn over. But I wanted to point out where Doge is, and then we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is at a very crucial point right now. Doge is doing pretty much what it has. Well, Doge just went to where it, for the most part, gains its liquidity from, which is right in this zone here between 7 and pretty much between 7 and 6, 709 to like 596. We see we got the rejection here, which historically it does. Even if you go back here, it'll hit this area. It never really hangs down here, but this is just an important zone that typically it's able to grab enough liquidity to kind of hang out in this wider zone here. And that's pretty much what it's doing right now. You see we got the rejection here off of the 72-day. And then right now it's kind of trending along with the 14th until we get some confirmation in one direction or the other. And as we are just literally 7 days in September, I wanted to point out what I'm seeing here with Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is green right now. It's back up to around the 14-day. And where we've got a few rejections here, I'm using Bitcoin obviously because it's a market indicator and you're able to kind of grasp the tone of the market here. We pretty much grabbed some liquidity from where we have had some rejections before. Even back here in like March and stuff like that, we were able to grab some liquidity, got a bounce from here back in June, and that's around the 25 mark. So, and with us being 7 days into the cycle here, Bitcoin needs to hold this level. If not, we're possibly looking at anywhere from $22,000 to $20,000. That's going to be a huge that's still a huge gap. It's like a $4,000 gap from where we are now. But as far as for the liquidity that would shift out of the crypto market in general, you can expect some further volatility or some dips here going into the market. So if you're looking at things like Doge, Ethereum, Cardano, stuff like that, you can kind of expect to see a similar pattern here. Now, ideally for me, if you guys remember a couple of years ago, I was talking about Bitcoin going to 20,000, possibly at a low at 10 on the extreme side, because that kind of gets that full 85% correction. So there's a lot of people who are kind of championing it to go back to this range here. Because we see this time here, we had a couple bounces here and in this zone between like 18 and 20. There's a lot of people who are kind of praying that it goes back down to this level. I'm one of them. I would certainly love going back down here. So just don't think that it's completely like it's like the end of the world and stuff like that. Typically, you have these kinds of like resets in September. Just think of September as I guess like a reset month, or just an opportunity, or consider it like a Black Friday month, right? A sale month, like for your positions and stuff like that. So if this is your first cycle or your second cycle, is something that you may not remember, but we have witching in about a week, and we're going to have a lot of the options and stuff like that kind of turn over, and some of them are going to renew, and we're going to be able to see like that blood and stuff like that. It may even have another 2%, 3% overall, and even like a lot of the big indexes that we can further go down. So that's something you can kind of expect and kind of correlate that to what you're seeing here. So that way it's not like, oh, everybody's selling off or the economy is crashing and stuff like that. Now, I do believe that we are certainly headed toward a deeper like recession and stuff like that, but the blood that we're seeing here is not completely based off of the macros. This is something that we would see some of these resets and stuff like that, regardless of the state of the economy. This is just typically a month where you'll see like these downtrends. Ethereum kind of literally, it traces Bitcoin relatively close. A lot more rejections here. But yeah, so even here, you're looking at like another $300 drop roughly. 300, yeah, I say 300. I'll say $300 to $500 drop if you're looking at that to kind of correlate with that Bitcoin drop there. So if we see that 22 to 20 range again, you can kind of possibly on the extreme side, possibly see even $1,200 Ethereum again. So not the end of the world. Let's take a look. Here it goes. Because those is in that high liquidity area. It can dip down here to grab some liquidity, but historically, these are mostly just flash crashes in this space here. Typically, when it goes down to around a nickel, it kind of bounces back up almost immediately. It gets, as you can see here, in the last two tests in this area, it gets very strong rejections out of it and kind of just trends back up here. This is where it kind of feels at home. Even when nothing's going on, or in the extreme side of things, it gets a rejection from like one of the runs to 10 cent or something like that. It comes back here, grabs liquidity, and then goes for the next retest. This range here is kind of home for it. So you can for the most part, it's kind of expected to kind of trend here. If we start seeing some of those big sell-offs and stuff like that, you can kind of expect a crash down here. But I have no evidence to say that Doge is going to stay in that range or can start trending in that lower range unless things got like really bad and stuff like that. So as for now, in my opinion, I would just say that it will do what it has done in the past, which is typically hit that range and reject out of it and get back into the space that it's in now. So, historically looking at the charts, if you're able to catch one of those flash crashes down there, it'll certainly be a great opportunity to get some in that range. And because right now, if you're able to catch some in this position, depending on how much money you're playing with, you almost immediately turn a profit because it bounces up like a cent or two in the next range up. So, but you have to be very quick to do this. As you can see, it doesn't stay here long. Not even, this is on a day here, but I believe like when I was looking at the minute chart and stuff like that, we're talking maybe like 2 to 3 minutes, and then it's bouncing back up, it's bouncing back down. This is just showing you, this is a day chart, so it's just kind of showing you the range that it traveled within that day, but actually where it ended up closing. So we know we went down to these levels here, 558, but ended up closing at around 610. So, even then, almost a penny return on the day. So again, depending on how much money you're playing with, this is one of the reasons why it's difficult to kind of catch it in that range, because a lot of people come in. So overall, just kind of expect that type of volatility going forward for this month. It's not completely tied into the macros or any of the chaos you're seeing. It just trickles over. If you're paying attention to the stock market and even like a lot of the big indexes and stuff like that, they're all experiencing this sea of red. So this isn't an isolated thing to the crypto market. This is going to be the totality of the market. I'd probably say the strongest side is probably going to be at least for the next week or two, especially until we get witching behind us. So let me know your thoughts as far as if you're panicking or acquiring more, or just kind of sitting out in the comment section. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you guys in the next video.